there are several aspects: drugs, vaccines, our health workers working on the ground, whom we called warriors, and not only health workers, other employees, government employees, or private sector employees, or researchers, scientists as well. Personnel, police personnel, all of them have been doing their job for the past 3 to 4 months to try and ensure that we win this battle against COVID-19. One very important aspect here is for us as common citizens to ensure that we stay healthy, we boost our immunity levels, and we do not let stress take over us. And when we talk about all these aspects, one important thing which takes care of all these is yoga. And there is the International Day of Yoga, which is being celebrated on 21st of June as well. So today we're going to talk about how we can tackle COVID-19 with yoga in various aspects. And for this, we have a very distinguished panel of guests. Let me first introduce the guest to you, beginning with Mr. O.P. Tiwari. He is a renowned yoga guru and yoga scientist as well. We're also joined by Ms. Mansa Rao. She's a yoga therapist, and Dr. Eshwar V. Baswareddy is the director of Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga with the Ministry of Ayush. Welcome all of you to Rajya Sabha TV studios. Let me begin the show with a very simple question. And let me begin with you, Mr. Tiwari. Why yoga?
See, yoga, first we have to very, very clearly understand what is the difference between the modern psychology and yogic psychology. This is very, very important. Modern psychology says whenever there is a psychological problem, it is in the mind. On the other hand, yoga says there is no problem in the mind itself is a problem. Mm-hmm. This is the main difference. So long mind is active, as it is said, mind does not allow you to be steady. They have defined mind, sankalp vikalpo hi manaha. One who thinks and immediately thinks opposite. It does not allow you to be steady on one point. That is why what is needed, buddhi is needed. Nishchayatmika buddhi. Buddhi helps you to determine what you have to do, what you have not to do, what is good for you, what is bad for you. And that take care of your stress to a very large extent. If you understand this fundamental, that there is no problem in the mind. Mind is a problem. First, it brings a negative aspect in you. Then, where is the time to think about positive, the personal? That is why we are mostly in distress when we are alone. What happens? You don't remain alone. You become lonely. Aloneness, no problem. Loneliness is a problem. What Corona has done, when you are in seclusion, keeping much distance with the meeting the people, one of the aspects which is arising in people, they feel lonely. And this lonely is a negative aspect of the personality which develops. And we do not know how to tackle it. So, yoga teaches you very, very clearly how to deal with this negative aspect of the mind. And for that, they have done some practices, asanas, pranayama, most important. And that they have said that yoga makes you how to feel good, how to lead your life in difficult times. And that is why it is very, very important these days. It increases the immunity.
Okay.
It makes you to face the problem. It does not create an escape route. That is why yoga is very important. As Patanjali has said,
Mhm.
yoga, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga channelizes the thinking, the vrittis, which can take you to negativity, which can take you to positivity, and it helps you to take to positive side.
Okay, that's very important aspect out there, and in a nutshell, which I can understand, Tiwaji, is that it's about giving root to positive thoughts and positivity in a nutshell out there. Ms. Rao, your views on this small but very significant question: why yoga, as Tiwaji was describing? It's all about bringing positivity into your inner self.
Absolutely. I think, like he rightly said, I think it's the time to find ourselves. You know, generally, it's only during those challenging times, that we just crumble. And I think yoga can be that right tool with the perfect blend of art and science, with its infinite possibilities that we can just recalibrate our body, breath, and mind. And also, what is fantastic about this art and science of yoga is that it is for all the age groups. Okay, and it can be uh, used as a fantastic tool to accept this reality of what we are facing today. Uh, the greatest reality being the uncertainty and the brevity of life around us. I think, in terms of practice, as various dimensions, there are asanas, there are pranayama practices, there are kriyas, and being mindful, where pratyahara comes into place. So, meditation practice, all these can be used to uh, fight uh, this entire challenging time and boost our immunity and get.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so it's all about boosting our immunity, and in these challenging times, obviously, it becomes more significant, more important as well to practice all these forms of yoga or meditation, which can help us. Dr. Baswareddy, you were involved with training and education for a long time now, as far as yoga practices are concerned. So, how would you define, or how would you answer, rather, this question of why yoga in our life is really important?
Yes. First of all, it's a very good question. So, if you see the philosophy, tapatraya, dukkha, is inevitable. Once we born, so there is a dukkha, and there are three types of dukkha: adi bhautika, adi daivika, adhyatma tapa. So, no one can escape from these tapas. So, what is the means? Yoga is the means. So therefore, yoga gives the solution to overcome any problem by its own principles and practices. One. The second one is we are a animal, basically animal. Human being, it's a higher form, but every animal has the instincts. Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithun. If you see the animal kingdom, they do it systematically. But as Sri Tiwariji has mentioned, mind has something greater than that, mind and intelligence. So our mind is always wandering, it's moving. So mind has sattva and raja, it goes outwards with the indriyas, the outward world, always it is moving. So therefore yoga brings back to the stability. With that stability, so I can have a proper judgment or decision making body, that is called intelligence or buddhi. So yoga sharpen our buddhi. It will be in the sattva. So they make the clear distinction between nitya and anitya. What is good, what is bad. So a yoga person have the proper decision making body, that is called viveka. So that brings you to tackle the problems. So always I am going with the right path, and there is a less dukkha. So that's why in the yoga there are three important aspects: asana, pranayama, and dhyana. This is the practice we do it. but there is a 24 hours yoga package. How to eat, how to talk, how to behave. So all these things are the practices of yoga itself. Therefore, we engross all the jnana, bhakti, karma, dhyana, hatha. So this becomes a holistic and it is a harmony. So that's why yoga is more relevant nowadays than before.
Okay. Okay. So it's not only about asanas or exercises, as you pointed out. It's also about a good habits or a living life in a particular manner. A holistic way of life is perhaps what you're pointing out to in terms of yoga. And the reason why it is important for us specifically in these times. Let me go back to Tiwariji here. Tiwariji, let's come to the original question here and the original problem which all of us are facing right now in this COVID-19 pandemic. That is, one is boosting immunity of our own body. And second, as you're pointing out earlier in your first answer, is to deal with stress. So how do we do that? Tackle these two aspects via yoga. How do we do that?
See, always remember the cognition is a very important part of the human being. How you look at the thing, it may be glass filled with the half milk, half glass. You can see half empty or you can see half full. Now, that is a very, very important aspect of our thinking. We should train ourselves to have a positive attitude, because everything has two aspects, negative and positive. Why not we concentrate on positive side first? And that is part of yoga. That is why it does not start with asanas. It starts with yamas and niyamas. How we should have our behavior. And out of that, a non-violent attitude, speaking the truth. Don't claim any other person's thing as yours. And try to understand the attitude toward the sex. And try to live life based on the needs, not only on desires. Desires are important, but they are not only important. First thing should be the need. If you are hungry, food is your need, not the drinks are your need. So that vivek must come in every person to choose the life, to mold the life as the time needs it. That is why I say to be alone is very positive, but to be lonely is very negative. And that is what our yamas and niyamas teach us, how to lead our personal thinking life, how to have cognition about every problem, how to shape the life. Why don't you see the same thing in a positive way? Why should we see in a negative way? Unless it is totally negative. This is what yoga teaches us. Mm-hmm. It should be really practical. It should not be merely the very, very good saying is there. Navesh dharanam siddhi. Merely changing the clothes does not make you yogi. Karanan na tat katha. If I can talk about yoga very nicely, does not mean I am a yogi. Kriyaiv kevalam siddhe. Only what I do that matters to make me yogi or not. Satyam etan sansaya. There is no doubt about it.
So it's all about what we practice in our lives. That is what is important. Yeah. And the practice has to be as per the principles of yoga. And it's not only about asanas or exercises as Dr. Baswareddy was also pointing out. Let me bring in Ms. Rao here as well on this aspect. Ms. Rao, your views on how to tackle these two aspects. One, improving your immunity in these pandemic times, and two, dealing with stress, because as Tiwari is pointing out, being alone is not the problem. Being lonely is the problem. And most of those patients who have to stay in home quarantine or institutional quarantine for more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they tend to feel lonely.
Absolutely. I think maintaining the inner balance is very crucial in these times. And rightly, he just pointed out that the yamas and niyamas play a very vital role now, and especially the shaucham, that is inner and external purity. Okay, maintaining that. And I think along with that, four very important aspects is the achar, vichar, Ahar and Vihar. I think I think Achar is disciplining our body and our mind through the practice of yoga and having the right thought, right attitude, and right understanding through the Achar and moderation in what we eat and having the right nourishing, well balanced food, okay, and not just overeating because we have nothing else to do at home and we have access to food, okay. So that needs to be under control, and also the that how much we are exposed to the recreation around us. You know, it
Okay.
time. So all these things, are very important in leading for well balanced life. Along
Okay.
with that, I think to boost the immunity, there are very crucial practices in yoga, like it could be the Surya Namaskara or like the Bhakti Pranayama, which the research says uh, increases nasal nitric acid. So that can be practiced. Brahmani Dharma is
Okay.
very boosting immunity.
Okay, okay. So those are significant aspects out there, as Ms. Rao is also pointing out. Dr. Bhaswar Reddy, your views on these two specific issues which are facing us right now in this COVID pandemic.
No, one is principles. Principles is okay, but everybody is telling principle, but how to practice that?
How to practice that?
That is the issue.
Mhm.
Issue is that's why yoga gives a practical path. So people say that you follow yama niyama, but you are not able to follow it. For this, we need the mind-oriented practices. So we starts with the yogic hygiene. So Priya. So nowadays we talk about Shaucha. Shaucha is one of the first niyama. Without Shaucha, our yoga practice doesn't start. So that's why it is external and internal. One example I'm giving. So for the internal cleansing of the body, Hatha Yoga mentions yogic hygiene practices. Neti, Dhoti, Kapal, Bhati, Prataka, Nauri, Basti. So nowadays, Neti, Dhoti, Kapal, Bhati, as per the need. So we practice them. So every day do Kapal Bhati for 1 or 2 minutes. It cleanses. So at least one, twice or thrice a week you practice Neti. Once a week, Dhoti or 15 days, once in 15 days do stomach wash. So like this, such type of even Pratak. So all these things will help us to cleanse. Nowadays, we are advocating do hand sanitization, hand washing. But these are all the routine practices in our yoga. We follow it. We never bring our shoes, etc. at the home. All these things are very, very handy. One. The second one is in yoga, many people doesn't know. We do some evening time or early morning time, some yajna or mantra japa. So they are very powerful practices. They are helping for the cleansing. So like this, there are several detoxification processes. When you do asana, it is a snayu shuddhi. So our entire muscles are strenuous, that this, etc. They become slowly, slowly flexible, and toxins accumulated in the body are slowly removing that. So that's why after doing yoga, you feel refreshed. So pranayama energize your body, the whole energy, and
Mhm.
that pranayama connects with our mind. Suppose when you do pranayama, our lungs become healthy, lungs to cardiac person. That's why in English we call cardiorespiratory efficiency. So that stimulates our vagus. Vagus is an important nerve, and vagus connects with our prana, the energy. That's why it's a neuron transmission like this. So that connects with our mind. This is a science. So therefore, when you do that, it connects with your mind. Mind is oriented, and with that oriented mind, we need to follow these principles.
Okay.
Principles are there, but yoga has the practices to adopt those principles in our life. That is most important. Anybody
Okay.
otherwise we can teach philosophy and other things. Somebody is teaching poetry and all these things happen, but yoga is teaching you a practical path where
Mhm.
it give you the orientation to your mind to adopt it as a part of our life.
Okay, Tiwari ji, your views on that, practical aspect, practically, what should people do in their daily life, specifically on those two aspects, boosting immunity and doing away, or rather staying away from stressful aspects of life. So practically for somebody like me or for anyone else, any one of us, what is it, in terms of three or four important aspects in via yoga, which needs to be practiced?
To my mind, best thing is first, early in the morning, whenever possible, practice three kriyas. Sai, look here. The virus, generally it is reported, the throat, nasopharyngeal cavity, and eyes. These are three doors where virus takes place. So, early in the morning, when we get up, a very hot water with sodium salt. Do gargle 5-6 times.
Mhm.
And after gargle, do the jal neti, from taking water from one nostril, removing from another. And third practice is the clean the eye with the eye glass filled with the cold water and wash your eyes. I have found this really wonderful. And then you practice little Bhastrika Pranayam. Nearly 4 Bhastrika Pranayam or 5 will give you such a wonderful feeling at the breathing level. It increases your capacity and it increases the efficiency of your breathing, where you can fight with the initial state of corona very, very well.
Mhm.
And so the kriyas and the pranayam together. Asanas will keep your general tone during day, but these two things keep the corona away. And this is, I am not telling merely theoretically, but I am practicing myself. And now you can imagine I'm 88.
Definitely.
This is my
That is indeed an example of how these things work as well. You're as hale and hearty as a person can be in your age. Tiwaiji, thank you so much. Let me bring in Dr. Baswareddy for the last question here. Dr. Baswareddy, 21st of June is the International Day of Yoga, which is India's legacy to the world. Now, we've spoken for almost 20, 25 odd minutes about the benefits of yoga, the various ways in which it helps us, and the various ways in which it can be practiced, and the holistic aspect of it as well. But for a common general public or common person to go ahead and learn about these things in terms of propagation of yoga education or yoga training, what are various steps or various policies or processes being put in place by your institute or the ministry or the government or other agencies involved?
Yes, honestly speaking, in India and abroad, yoga has been flourished and propagated mainly by our leading yoga institutions. So probably last more than 100 years, etc. So there is a lineage and there is a Guru Shishya Parampara and there is some ashrams. So they inculcate yoga as part of them. That is their life. So they have promoted. Now in the Kaival Dama Tiwari sir is there, and in the 1945-50, they have started one diploma course, education course. So it's almost more than 70, 75 years. They have started a teachers training programs. So like this now in several universities, colleges, etc. they are doing it. So what we do, suppose you need a person to teach, we have developed a one common yoga protocol. So with all the consensus in 2015, so 45 minutes one package come and it is good for wellness and keep us always fit. So both physically and mentally. So there is a science behind it, there is a tradition behind it in the following. We inculcated all the yogic practices in a very systematic manner. To teach that, we need a teacher. That's why we developed a 200 hours teachers training program. We need a teacher in the wellness centers. We have developed a 400 hours program. We need a teacher in the schools and colleges. We developed a 800 hours teachers and evaluator programs. We needed the teacher in the universities and colleges. We need a master's programs. So we need a therapist in the centers. We need a therapist to treat diabetic. So like this, we prepared the modules now with the association of all these leading yoga institutions. So are slowly bringing these modules and let them continue with their good things. But at the same time, bare minimum practices should be followed by all the institutions, organizations and universities. So that one with the UGC, with leading yoga institution, Ministry of Ayush has established a yoga certification board where we are giving the, we are not regulating, but we are giving some guidelines. We are bringing the upgradation, knowledge and skill developments. So on the basis of knowledge and skill, we are making these things are available. One. Okay. The second most important is government is doing, government cannot do alone. During last 3 months, voluntarily all our yoga institutions, yoga centers, yoga professionals, whoever it may be, none of them are sitting idle. Even somebody don't have their FB account, they have started. Every student, every teacher now they are going online. So that means yoga has become such a powerful tool and people are using this social media platform, and this pandemic has given a new dimension for the yoga teaching.
Definitely.
That is the future.
Definitely. This is a new dimension, sort of combination of yoga as well as technology. And
Yes.
As all of you pointed out, thank you so much, Dr. Baswareddy, Tiwariji, and Ms. Rao as well for sharing your important, and significant views on this aspect. Yes, Dr. Baswareddy, please.
One thing is now this time, last 2-3 months, the theme we have taken yoga at home, yoga with family. सह परिवार के साथ कुटुंब में योग करें. 21st Honorable Prime Minister is giving a remarks at 6:30 from the Doordarshan National Channel, and it will be telecasted with all. And exactly at 7 to 7:45, live yoga demonstration, and it is being followed worldwide.
Okay.
So that is the program Government of India.
Okay, definitely. And as Dr. Baswareddy is saying, all of us should go ahead and participate in that program as well. From our homes only, yoga with family, yoga from home. That is the theme for this year's International Day of Yoga. And as I was saying, yoga, as our panelists pointed out, is not only about asanas or exercise. It's all about a way of life, giving roots to positivity in our life in various aspects, and that obviously can come through our